What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814ADC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Giant Mouse Knives Ace Atelier, aka the Baby Grand. I've had this in for a few weeks now via the Lefty Pass-Around group, and this thing is awesome. I'm really enjoying my time with it. I definitely have grown to like the knife. I definitely like it more than the full-size Grand. Just, you know, fits my hand a little bit better. It fits my EDC needs a little bit better. You know, there's still a few qualms I have with this knife, but if I were to, you know, buy one, you know, the full-size Grand versus the Baby Grand, I would definitely buy the Baby Grand. So, yeah, like I said, I've really enjoyed it, and I guess we're going to jump right into materials. But before I do that, there are two different versions of it. This version is the titanium version, and they also have a green canvas micarta version. I will leave a link to the website down below, specifically to Giant Mouse's website. Unfortunately, the titanium version is sold out. But the last time I looked, which I guess I can look right now. I don't know why I said last time I looked like 2 minutes ago. But yeah, the green canvas version is still in stock. So if you guys are interested in that, links down below. So yeah, we're going to jump right into materials. Obviously, like I just said, this has the titanium scales with that beautiful micro milling, which hopefully the light's going to be able to pick up. There you go. But beautiful sort of diagonal micro milling. You have Giant Mouse's loop over style deep carry wire pocket clip that works really well, lefty or righty carry. You have a brass backspacer, which I personally could go without. I don't really like how they do that. It adds weight, and I'm not a huge brass fan. But you have the pivot collar, the lanyard hole. I don't know why I said pivot collar, but beautiful satin blade. This is an Elmax. Comes down to a nice thin edge. You know, pretty much everything you guys love about the Ace Grand, just put into a smaller version. You know, it's the same knife, same blade shape, same handle shape, everything like that. But Elmax is a great steel. There is Ace Elmax. It's of course a liner lock. We'll get to that a little bit later. The liner lock and the liner lock access is kind of one of the qualms I have about this knife. And there is also no internal milling, which I think there definitely could have been a little bit milled out of here to make this a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter. And it's on bearings. It is dead centered, and I believe that's all for the knife. But real quick, I want to talk about specs. Blade length is 2.875 inches, which is measured from tip to forwardmost aspect of frame. Overall length is 6.813 inches, and it weighs 4.2 ounces. I think with a knife this size, if you could get under 4, that'd be fantastic. I think there's enough material in there for you to be able to get into and, you know, mill out 0.2 ounces to get, 0.3 to technically get it under 4. That's I guess one of my other gripes is it could be a little bit lighter just due to how big the knife is. But it's not like terrible in pocket. Once you get used to it and once you carry it, you know, for a few days in a row, and you know, you get used to the knife, it's not bad. You really kind of, you know, don't realize it's there. But you know, just picking the knife up compared to some of these other knives that I just you know, have sitting here on my desk, it's just a little bit heavier for that size of a knife. But you know, it is what it is. And then I also do want to point out that this is being made in Monteago, Italy. So it's not a Riot made model. It's a Italian knife, which I know a lot of people can have gripes with, you know, Italian-made knives. I know this is a lefty pass-around, like I said. And when Kevin got this, he got actually this and the green micarta version in. And he actually sent both of those, I think, back, and he had new ones sent to him because QC was not very good. I think Kevin put better bearings in here. He did not put skiffs, but he did put, like, upgraded ceramic ball bearings, I think, which there is no blade play. Lockup is really tight on this knife, but just wanted to give you guys sort of those few rundowns before we move on to the next section of action, which we're going to tackle right now. So I love the pill-shaped hole. I think Giant Mouse does a great version of the pill-shaped hole. It works really well. Middle finger flick on this knife flies out of there. The detent, you guys can hear it snapping back into place. Nice and snappy. Has some good, you know, break to it. You just kind of fire right into that hole, and it flies right out of there. Thumb flick comes out well. I really like the acoustics of this knife. it's like dampened and it's kind of like muted, but it's also really like satisfying to close and then fire out of there. I've definitely grown to appreciate that and to like it a lot. It works really, really well, or it sounds really, really well. But the one qualm I have is, so the closing action is decent. You're never going to get this to be like a complete drop shut knife, but it will drop to your nail, and then you just typically have to shake it closed. A lot of the time, just due to how the lock bar is kind of on an angle, it just the tab hits your finger pretty soon after you disengage it. So it kind of just sits there, and it's never going to fall shut, but a few micro shakes makes it very satisfying. I do love a good knife shake. But middle finger flick works well. And lock bar access is not the best. I do wish that they would, sort of take some of the feedback from the community, because that's something that the Ace Grand had an issue with as well. You just really had to shove the corner of your nail up in there, and after a while, your fingers beat up, and you don't want to do it anymore. But that's one thing that I would definitely improve on this knife, is I would just take a little bit of that material away and make it a lot easier for you to jam your thumb up in there. Or sorry, not jam your thumb up in there, and to disengage it, fire it out of there. But overall closing action is nice, very smooth. Again, there is no blade play, no lock rock. It's very, very tight up there. And the detent is tuned perfectively. I know Kevin had his mitts on this, and he tuned it to his liking. So typically whenever you get a knife that has Kevin's tunes, and Kevin's a detent diva, so if he enjoys a knife, you're going to get a good product in it. So thumb flick is good, middle finger flick is good, and of course you can slow roll it out. But action is very, very good. I would just kind of say the lock bar access could be a little bit better. That way you're not tearing up your thumb. And then if you had a little bit more access, you kind of drop your thumb down a little bit more, and that would make the blade fall a little bit more towards home a little bit more. But again, that's just kind of a nitpick, a little bit of a gripe. Nothing too serious at all. So action is pretty good. Next up is ergos. And this hits my hand pretty well. Pretty well. You have the nice jimping up here, which is kind of in the middle of the blade, that Vox is in ANSO is kind of known for. You do have a little bit of a choil up here. It's not really like a flipper choil. It's more of a landing choil, but it feels really good in the hand. Choked back, I can still get all 4 fingers on the knife, but I definitely am kind of squished a little bit, but I still it's comfortable. It's not like really squeezing your hand together too much, so I really can't complain much there. The pot clip always works well for ergos. It's nice and slim and minimal. I can feel it a little bit when I'm choked back, but then when I choke up, I kind of get off of it more. And overall, this feels really good. So if you're going to be doing precise cuts, this is where I would sort of land most of the time. Pinch cuts work really well because you kind of have this poon up here with the jimping, so you can get a really good grip on, if you're going to be cutting labels or cutting around something that you have to be very, very careful with. But I like the way the titanium is finished. It definitely is still on the slippier side. It's not like the most aggressive milling or jimping. Sorry, I don't know why I said jimping. Milling on the scale, but it's still nice that it's there, and you can definitely feel it. And it adds, a nice texture to it. So it feels good. All the edges are nicely contoured and rounded, and nothing sharp on this knife really. I take that back. There is a little bit of sharpness right here on that corner, just due to where the liner lock is, but really you can't really feel it too much, so there's nothing too bad that you can do there. Yeah, pot clip is reversible, like I said, lefty or righty carry. It's getting dark outside, so I don't know if it's gonna rain, but hopefully you guys are still able to see this okay. Anything else for ergos? You can definitely do the reverse kind of hammer grip if you're gonna be doing some gas station knife fights with Kevin over at 7-Eleven. But overall, the ergos are good. They fit the knife well. They fit my hand well. I have about a large glove size hand, so anything bigger than that, I would probably stay away from it, and I would go towards the full size Grand. And the full size Grand fits my hand well too. It's a very very good ergonomic experience as well. But I just like this a little bit better. It just, I don't know, just fits a little bit better. Can't really complain too much. Titanium is milled nicely. And yeah, so no complaints at all with the ergo department. Next up is carry. And I've kind of stated already how I wish this knife had a little bit of weight reduction, happening on the inside of the scales, but we don't have that. So it's not the end of the world, but you definitely would want this to be maybe a little bit slimmer, a little bit, sort of weighted out a little bit. You can feel it at first, but then as I carried it more and more, it wasn't something that I noticed as much as I thought I would. Once you get used to the knife and once you're carrying it and using it here and there, it's not bad. I've only carried this in my front right pocket of my jeans. I have not carried this in gym shorts or anything like that, so I can't really attest to that part of it too much. But overall, is it good? It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. I think maybe, once you get past everything, it's kind of adequate for it, I guess. I definitely think that brass backspacer adds weight to it. I wish they would not do that. I wish maybe that they would put that as an option, or like an after, a side thing you can purchase for the knife. But because like I said, I'm not a huge brass guy, so I could personally go without the brass backspacer and just have, standoffs back there. I think that would look fine. And that might bring it under that 4-ounce weight sort of benchmark. But, it carries in the pocket well. You pretty much go to the butt end of the knife. You do have a little bit sticking up out of the top there, but that's just, very, very minimalistic. Carries well. You have no flipper tab or anything to catch your hands on. It's all nicely smooth and, rounded and contoured. So you're not going to catch your hand on anything and accidentally pop it up out of the knife or out of your pocket if you're going to be, sort of going down past your knife to get medicine, chapstick, coins, whatever it may be. And again, it's lefty friendly, which is nice. I like seeing that on there when they do reversible pocket clips. And that wire clip is just awesome. I love wire clips. I think they're fantastic. They're just so easy in a pocket. They don't scream like, hey, I have a knife on me. So I really have grown to like them a lot. And nice ramp, nice detent to the pocket clip, so that works well. So other than it being maybe a little bit too heavy in my opinion, I have no other gripes at all with the carryability of the Baby Grand. So that takes me to my final category of price point and what I recommend this knife. I can absolutely recommend this knife, guys. It's really good. It's probably my favorite Giant Mouse knife to date yet. I haven't handled them all, but I've handled a decent amount of them to know what I like with them. And I still, even though I had a Grand and I got rid of it, I still like that knife. If I had an unlimited knife budget, or if I wasn't, chasing other stuff at the time, I probably would have kept it. So eventually I might snag one of these in the future, just because I like the smallness of it. They really started doing some pretty cool colorways and different variations of the full-size Grand. So I think this, it's been very, very popular so far. So I could really see them doing something similar. So they happen to do this in the same red micarta and blackened, blacked out hardware, a dark black stonewash M390 blade. I might pick that up again just because I think it's, it's a great knife. I'm not going to run out and go buy a titanium version or a green micarta version just because, it's a knife that I like, but I don't love. And I really like the variant that I had with the red micarta. So that might be an exception eventually if they do that in here. But I really think they have a winner on their hands. It fits in the hand so well. It's great, pocketability, great carryability, lefty friendly, great materials with that titanium and L-Max. Good action, great detent. I know Kevin, tuned it nicely. So, you might not be able to expect something as good as this right out of the box from Giant Mouse. You might have to tune it, especially with it coming from Italy and, the QC being kind of, hit or miss from there. But, overall as a package, I do think the 8-liter is a fantastic model. The titanium version goes for $285 and the green micarta version goes for $215. So, there's a $60 price difference there, but you're getting really nice titanium scales. Now, if you want a lighter knife, I will check real quick what the difference is on weight, because obviously micarta is going to be less weight than titanium. Yeah, so you're losing almost an ounce with going from from titanium to micarta. The micarta weighs 3.3 ounces. This weighs 4.2. So if you want, if you really like the design and you want something really lightweight and, just going to be very easy in and out of your pocket, you're not going to feel it's there. I would definitely give a hard look to the micarta. And you know, I've had multiple versions of their micarta either in my collection or in on the channel for review, and I can attest that, you know, the micarta is very well made. Always has great fit and finish, and you know, nothing really too bad happens with the micarta on their knives. So I can definitely attest to that. So if you're looking for a lighter weight version of this, lean towards the micarta. If you want something a little bit more fancy and you can attest, or you can handle the, you know, the weightiness of this knife, definitely go for it. It's a fantastic knife. I've really enjoyed it, and I think this is going to be a bestseller for Giant Mouse for quite a few years, especially, like I said, if they start doing different variants of it, making different micarta versions, different steel versions, you know, carbon fiber, stuff like that. So I think it's a big hit, and I was really excited to check it out. So shout out to Kevin over at Lefty EDC for letting us check this out. Thank you, Kevin. And I'm going to wrap this up, guys. So I don't want to talk too much. I did say in my, or I'm going to say in my video, I'm going to start saying in all my videos how I want to start knocking my, you know, time down. I said around 15 minutes. This is at 16 right now, so we'll probably be around 17 by the time I'm done. But leave a comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the Baby Grand? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you, you know, about it? Let me know. Love to hear what you guys have to say. But links to this will be in the description down below, as well as Blue Creek Knives and Barnescraft Designs for some codes to save some money. Definitely go check those out. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your morning, day, night, evening, whenever you're watching this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.